For our parents, it may have been the telephone. For our children, maybe robots or flying cars like in the Jetsons. Today's question is, what technology has changed your life most profoundly? Welcome to the Rundown. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Rundown. Let's make the rundown rounds and say hello to everyone who's here with me today, starting with Tamara Pika. How are you, Tamara?
I am good, even though I don't have my jetpack or my flying car yet. That was
Really?
promised to me by science fiction.
It was promised to you, wasn't it? The Jetsons promised you that, and you didn't get it yet.
The
huh?
Jetsons promised me a Robomaid, and that I'm really sour
A
about.
Well, you could have a robo vacuum. I mean, that's
That's true. That's
pretty
true.
close. It's not too bad. Tony, do you have a robo vacuum?
I do not. I
don't either.
Long time no see.
How you doing? Here we go again.
I'm good.
This is getting old,
Yeah,
Tony. 3 days in a row now. It's going to be last night, today, and tomorrow. I love it. I love every
Yes,
second I get to
yes.
spend with you.
Me as well.
And what a joy to meet your brother last night. It was a really interesting episode. I kind of wish we'd heard more about his unique case, but I understand that there are limitations on what he can say.
Yeah, there are some. Well, originally he was supposed to be on before, but we could not get the attorney to be on with him, and so that's why we did it the way we did it last night.
Gotcha. Well,
And he's the youngest of 7.
You're one of 7?
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm the oldest of 7.
You're
He's
the oldest.
the youngest
There you
of
go.
7.
Okay, that's really cute. The oldest and the youngest together. That's fantastic. I love that. Hey, Lois, where do you fall in your family's lineup?
Well, I had a brother who was 3 years older than I, and there was me. That's it.
Just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
Just
And
the
I
two.
was the younger sister, and he wanted nothing to do with me.
Really? He
Oh
didn't
yeah,
like dote all over
when
you
you've
and take
got
care of you?
a 10-year-old kid, a boy. I mean, there's no way he wants a little girl tagging along behind him. No, he used to play tricks on me all the time.
Poor
But hey,
Lois.
have you seen the ads for that Robo puppy? A
Robo-
robot puppy that
I've seen a
acts
couple
like
of
a
them.
puppy.
Which ones?
Yeah, they're cute, cute little fluffy things, and they run around and they do. Yeah.
There was Boston Dynamics who created Spot, put a new video out about Spot learning how to do triple backflips. It's not really a triple backflip; it's 3 backflips in a row. And the guy who is working on teaching him this or training him in this said that he never thought that going into robotics that he'd be basically training a dog to roll over Spot. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm the middlest of 7.
Gosh,
I have,
goodness gracious,
3
you and Tony with 7
3
in the
older
family.
and 3 younger.
Wow.
I have 3 sisters, 2 brothers. It's really funny.
Wow, that is so
3
many.
and 2 and 1 is 6. Where'd you get 7?
7? Oh, well, no, I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 7. You have to count me too.
Yeah, 3 sisters,
I'm
2
going after
brothers,
here.
and you.
Yeah, I have 4 sisters. That's right. I forgot the youngest one. Sorry.
Oh,
I went through
Oh,
the
I hope
names.
he
I
doesn't
did
watch
Is this
this
on
show.
pass
YouTube?
Rob
Oh,
Elaine.
no.
I got to Elaine. Yeah, I have to
Oh,
admit
no.
that on Zoom. I forgot my
Sky,
sister.
save him.
There I am.
Wait, hold on.
That's 5.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Gosh,
That
you all have
is-
such a big family. Tamara, what number are you?
I'm number 1 of 4.
You're number 104. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
But did you pick me out in the crowd? Did you pick me out? Which one am I? Which one am I?
Which one are you?
Far left.
I'm
I'm
guessing the priest.
I'm the baby of the family, baby.
Distracts.
I have a sister that has passed, but she was 6 years older than I. My brother, who we've shared memories about recently, he was 7 years older than she was, and then he had we both had a sister who is still alive in Kansas City, and then the eldest sister, Dina, named after my father, Dean.
Boy, you all have lots and lots of siblings.
Yeah.
It gets
One.
cold in
Oh,
Kansas.
sorry,
Just saying.
Lois. Sorry,
Yeah, it's cold in Canada too.
sorry.
And
Lois
you,
just-
David?
Wait,
What
what's
about
yours,
you?
David?
Yeah.
So you don't even want to know. Because
I do.
oh no, you really don't. I have one blood brother. I have a half sister and a step brother, and
Okay.
probably some other steps that I don't even know about. My father had a
blended
bad habit
family,
of
yeah.
getting divorced, and so there were lots of like. That's yeah. We got to get into the news. This is getting too personal. Nano banana.
Zoom tight.
This
Great
has
name.
been all the hype this week. Nano banana was the code name given to Google's Google Gemini's new image model. More than just image model, though, it's really an image editor. That's really what sort of sets this apart. Reimagine your photos with a prompt, and I've listened to a bunch of people reviewing it, and they have been saying Photoshop needs to watch out. I haven't had that experience yet. I played around with it just a little. So I took this little character that AI created for me. You could upload anything. And I said, do me a favor, zoom out for a full body shot of this character in the studio. I mean, that's good. This is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Then I took... actually, let me go back and we'll do this one. So then I took a screenshot from one of our shows. So this is the screenshot from one of our shows. And I put it in and I said, take each person and put them in someone else's office from this photo. I wanted it to mix the people up. And this is what I did. I'm still in my office. Tamara's still in hers. Lois is still in hers. You're still in yours. But look who's joined me in my office.
Yeah. Great to have
And
you.
Sky, you are now in Tamara's office.
How nice of you. You're always welcome.
And I have to say,
you.
these two are
So
pretty
friendly.
good.
Right.
These two are pretty good. Then I said, no. Every person should be in someone else's office. Don't leave anyone in their own office. And it literally did nothing. It gave me the same exact thing. So then I decided to try something different. Then I said, let's create some promotions with that panelist shot. So I gave it that same screenshot, and I said, create 3 social media images to promote the Rundown Show featuring your panelists. Now, it doesn't know anything about what the Rundown Show is, but so this is the first one. I don't understand that at all. I also don't know who this is. Apparently, that's a new panelist that we have. And then it gave me this one, and again, Tony, you've really your skin has lightened quite a bit in this image.
Oh dear.
I that's just wild to me. And it only created 2. So like with everything, it's entirely possible that I'm just not using it correctly. I certainly haven't spent a lot of time working on the prompts, but I haven't been as blown away as everyone else is. But apparently it's supposed to be a game changer.
Can I show
oh,
you something?
I'm sorry?
May I show you something?
You may show me something. But wait, you're doing a screen share. All right, hold on a second.
Is that okay?
It is, but I have to set it up. How do I do that? Hold on, because right now they're just seeing us. So let me do this, and then I'm going to see this on the fly. On the fly. Give me a second here.
I apologize.
No. This is fantastic. I'm going to just do this, and then I'm going to add this. And no, that's not what I wanted to do. And I'm going to change this to
The spy
this.
cam.
All right, go for it. You're on.
Okay, so I took a picture of me and added it. You know, you can add a picture, a file picture. And I said, make me a firefighter. And here we are.
Is that
Pretty good.
Is that actually you?
That's my face. Yeah, I mean, it's not my body, but it is my face.
That's your face.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Doesn't it look like me?
I don't
She's
know.
a former movie star, you know.
I don't know. I'm trying to decide. Wait a second. Now I have to go back. Hold on a second.
All right, I'll stop.
I can't
Well,
do-
understand
Yeah.
as I get older,
Give us
I
that
get longer.
fireman's serious look, you know, the 1,000-yard stare.
Now, you did this in the Google Gemini?
Yes,
All right. Well, there you go. Wait, no.
and
Should
you
take that
know,
picture off
it
now.
it doesn't understand what you're talking about sometimes. I said, well, the first thing it did was it had me as in turnout gear and you know, with like you were fighting a house fire, and this big hat and you know, shade and everything. And I said, no, 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 I don't want a helmet. Just make it a hard hat, like a construction hard hat, and put my name on it. That's what it came out with. You know, it needs work, but
I
was
always
pretty
find it
impressed.
I always find it so curious when the big headline is Photoshop should watch out. Photoshop is not the same audience as that tool is any more than, you know, the wonderful editing system that I use with Riverside, where I get to use text. Thank you, Sky, for suggesting such things. Makes me an editor? No, it doesn't make me a real editor. A real editor would never do like what I'm doing. It's serviceable for what I need, and I think that this is serviceable for the average person.
Well,
but I
but-
don't think this is going to change the life of a real artist who understands how Photoshop works.
No,
That's right.
but I will say that like our conversation about coding, real developers are using AI tools to help them be more efficient. And if this could help a real artist be more efficient, I think
It doesn't.
This particular thing
Speaking
does
as a
not, though.
photographer, this is no competition to Photoshop at all because you have
Yeah.
very limited control. It's fine for testing out some wild scenario, you know, but it's not. There's no. This
Also,
isn't going to do anything.
I think it's very different to say coders are using it because coders, this is their language. They're using something that's already in their language and they're able to kind of go behind the scenes and see what they like and what they don't like. That is not the case with art. And so I think artists are very reluctant to use AI. They are still, I think that they will shift. I think there are things AI can do, but I don't think it's going to replace typing in words is not going to replace what artists actually do in
You may
Photoshop.
not remember VHS.
I do.
VHS was a horrible, horrible, horrible delivery format, but it was the least expensive, and it allowed, rather than the Sony product, which was superior, the Betamax was
Yep.
far superior quality, but they wanted to hold on to their licensing. VHS, who was it? The Panasonic that and one of the other big JVC or something. Dave, help me here. I'm floundering.
Well, Sanyo and
Yeah.
JVC, Philips.
They said we're going to go with that, and it was less expensive and available, and that became the market share of, and we consumed that mediocre, horrible delivery format.
But you did not
Because-
cut in that. Like I cut things in that as a 16-year-old. You didn't. As an editor, you didn't.
That is not wrong. However, now that everybody is an editor because they have an iPhone, now that everybody, so you're saying a real artist won't do it. A real artist is going to try to pay their bills. And now that everybody is an artist, just like everybody is a, Scorsese. So this is my rant against, I've been put out of business because of technology, just obliterating this big, heavy $100,000 piece of editing software I've got out here. So maybe I've got a
listen to
problem.
this. Ken
Listening.
Jordan
Yes, please, Ken.
says he's used Photoshop for many years. With the correct prompting, Nano Banana is 90% of the way there.
Oh my, yeah.
And
so
I
from Ken.
trust
Oh.
Ken. So check this
Oh.
out. So I this is just another one of these silly pictures that I have. This is, I think, where this model may be able to really help. And this has not been reliable in other models. So I gave it a prompt and I said, do me a favor, change the shirt to red and the pants to green. That's all I want you to do. So the very simple part, change the color of the shirt to red and the pants to green. And it did it beautifully. It didn't change anything that I can see, at least. It didn't change anything else in the image.
Didn't
And that is,
Photoshop do a similar thing where you could say, give him a tie, and then it would put a tie on you?
well, no.
Yes, but you're
Then it would say,
subscribing.
take
you
away
are-
the Coke can, and it
you are
just put a tie on it,
subscribing to Adobe. That is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Right.
So again,
I'm just saying
barrier
that
to entry.
for like quick edits and fixes and not complex, detailed stuff,
Yeah.
I think this could be a really interesting.
You know, you're working with a cartoon here, but yeah, a real picture of
Right.
Tony. You
So,
could say,
David-
okay, I need him holding a cup of coffee. Bing, coffee
Right.
cup.
You were starting with something that was created by the program, and then it changed the color of the shirt and things like that.
Yeah.
I think if you took an original picture
I know I'm looking for
and
one.
said,
How sad is
change
it that
the
I don't
color
have
of the
any
shirt
original
or
pictures?
something, I think you would have more difficulty.
The
Well,
cobbler's
let's-
shoes, you know. You've taken no pictures of yourself, yes.
Let's see. Oh, I see. I have to be very careful because if I choose a picture of my wife,
No, no, no.
it's
you
not a
must
picture
not
she
use a
likes.
picture of
That would not
anyone
be
else,
good.
no one else, only you
No one.
or one of us.
Yeah, I'm looking. How sad is this? I don't.
You could take a picture of your dog and then make it a different
I
breed.
have a picture of my dog. That I have.
If you're on a Mac, you can do Control-Shift-4, click, and there you got a picture.
Yeah. Okay, this is terrible. But let's use this. All right. So bump it up. So I'm going to let me download this.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And now let's go back. And so we're going to do a new chat. And I'm going to upload this photo. And what am I telling it to do? What should I tell it to do?
change the
Change
color
the
of your
color
shirt.
of the
Same
shirt to
thing.
blue.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see. I didn't mean to upload the zip. It downloaded it as a zip. Let me undo that. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, it's because of Apple Motion or whatever they call it. All right. Photos. Here we go. And you want me to do what? Change
Change the color of the shirt
the
to
color
blue,
of the shirt. It is blue.
to green.
To green and add
That was a blue shirt.
and add a red tie. Now, I'm not actually wearing the shirt properly, so let's see what it does with the tie.
And which shirt it turns
And
color.
which shirt it, right. This is a little bit of a complex picture.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
Mostly green
that's actually
shirt.
fascinating. It put the
And then it put
tie
a
around
tie
my
on
neck
you.
underneath the green shirt.
Interesting.
And then through the green
Yes.
shirt.
That's actually fascinating. That's really
Yeah,
good.
that's pretty funny.
That's really bad.
No, it's not. I don't think it's
The
bad at
shirt
all.
doesn't have a hole in it.
Right.
I don't know.
How
I
can the
think
tie
that's
come out?
Well, he's not
Doesn't have a
wearing the
hole.
green shirt. He's holding up the shirt. The
Yes,
shirt
I
is just
know.
draped on him with the sleeve.
What was
The
the
sleeve
what was,
is open on the
what was
on
the
the right.
request that you did? What was the request that you
I
said?
just said change the color of the shirt to green and add a red tie.
See, you gave it very limited.
No, of course.
Request,
Like I
so-
said, this may
That's,
very
and to that it got that close, that fast, that far.
that's the other piece of this. The speed
there's
at which
there's Ken's point.
Yeah.
See, there's Ken's point exactly. And when you say no artist worth his salt is going to do this, they're not going to.
That's
be
not what
relevant.
I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I do think there's value for it. I don't think it's a replacement for Photoshop. I think Photoshop will have its own integrations, just like they've had other tools. But there is no, like, I can call myself an editor. I'm editing every single day, but a true editor is a storyteller. A true editor can do things that
don't
I
disagree.
cannot do. And just
Preach
because
it.
people think they can,
Preach
they
it, sister.
they cannot. So I think that it's fine that it's doing these things, and it's actually great. And it's great that other people have access to it. It's great that we're able to, add new tools. I think some of those tools will be added into like Photoshop, like the way you can lasso things. You couldn't always do that. So I think that there's value to it, and I think people will use it, but I don't think it completely replaces the people who are using Photoshop and that as a tool with all of the levels of it. If I use Photoshop, I open open things up and I like fumble my way through. If one of the animators on my show uses it, they're genius with the things that the tools they combine. And this doesn't change that. It augments it, but I don't think that but when they say Photoshop has to run for its money, no, it doesn't. They're going to add the AI tools that they need into Photoshop, and the people will adopt them who use that program to the layers and levels that they do.
And
I don't
Also,
think I think
Adobe
there's
has
room for both.
legacy.
And
Adobe
Canva.
has enough legacy dealing with photographers and artists and graphic
Very
designers.
tired of paying
To ask
$59
them,
a
what would
month.
you like us to add? Because we can add anything you like, and we've done it for years.
Right.
And then if somebody says, yeah, if you give us a bunch of tools that allow us to manipulate in the way that Gemini is doing now, which it already has many of those features, then they will put it in. And I think it's not a case. Adobe has been adapting all of their software, including things like the PDF makers and that, to accommodate people's real needs, not the professionals only, but average people are learning to use things because they're seeing the professional results. And I think, like we all say, this is the bicycle that isn't yet a car. And we're still riding around the neighborhood on this little bike, learning to navigate and signal. And then at some point when we're teenagers, we'll be in an image making reality that is actually quite flexible, quite easy, and mundane.
Do you pick these news articles just to see the arguments, David?
Oh yeah, it does, of course.
That's the tension. Is that what you're here for?
Let's see if we can argue about Apple now.
Can we all agree that Nano Banana is a great name, though?
I love it. I'm 100%. Yes,
that.
keep it. Keep it.
That's
called
my
Gemini.
wife's name with my grandchildren, actually.
It's just called Gemini.
I know,
Oh,
the
but the
code name's
version is
so
called
good.
it's called Nano Banana, the version like ChatGPT 4, 5, and all the
All right.
rest.
So when you
It's the-
download
So
it, and you
hold
there's
on.
no
Oh, no.
app.
So
but-
I
There
put
it
this
is.
picture in.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I said, change the color of the shirt to red and button it up to the collar. It didn't button it, but it did a pretty good job of changing the color to red.
I like that the color shadows and everything else are just right on
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It did crop out the
Logo.
tip of the mic right there, and it actually changed the guy's hair color in the on the my little logo there.
Okay.
And then I said, no, button the shirt all the way up to the neck, and it didn't do anything. Now I said, remove the stubble, beard, and mustache.
Oh, I was waiting for that. And the smile is different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, my
Yeah. It's making a new face rather than removing.
Yeah.
any.
Oh, my goodness.
interesting.
That's what they did to Tony here. They made a new face for him.
Yeah. In any case,
Yeah.
boy, I
Fun
could
and
play
games.
with this. It's a good thing that they have a token count and a limit, because like I could absolutely see myself going down this
You
going
can
down
burn more
this
coal.
rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun stuff though. And the other big piece of news that we got is we found out that yes, indeed, Apple is having a September event. It's coming up on the 9th of September. Are you all excited about anything? Are you waiting for anything
No.
in particular? Do you want the slim phone, the iPhone Air? Anyone?
I can't have a slim phone. That would the way my phone leaves my hand with the amount of weight that it has now. There's no way I am allowed to have a slim phone. But thank you, Apple,
flip
for the
right out
people
of
who
your
are
hand.
much better than I. They will probably love it.
I don't quite understand why anyone needs a slimmer phone than this. I don't
Pretty
get it. And this has a case on it. Like, I don't understand what's not slim enough about this.
Well, when we went to the phablet, when I went to the Max, remember how small things used to be? And it's like, who would ever hold a knife?
That's right. That's right.
Who would not own a?
Right.
That's right.
hold
We
a
all
knife?
said that. Why would you want
Phablet.
something so big?
Phablet.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
No, they're just trying it out. If it catches on and everybody buys it and it's a big fad with kids or something, well, then it's a hit. If
Then
nobody
they make
buys
money.
it, well, they'll just let it disappear like so many other versions of the iPhone.
Yeah.
So the fact that they've announced all these things and they're going to have a big thing and oh, here's our wonderful stuff, it never hits me at all. I never pay any attention to it. I only find out about the new stuff when people in my community get excited about they got something, they liked it. Ooh, isn't this cool? And then maybe 6 months later, I'll get something if it appeals to me. But all this new stuff, hey, it's just, meh.
Here's the only thing I'll say, Lois. I sort of share that feeling, and particularly with Apple, I feel like in the hardware, they're kind of as good as it gets. Like I mean, like I don't need anything better hardware wise on my computer, on my phone, or any of that stuff. But I also said that back in 2019, and then they introduced the M1, and wowzer. So I'm always sort of hoping that they have something up their sleeve that I haven't thought of yet that that could really change everything. And Gary is saying they're planning on making a fold. I've heard that for 26 maybe or 27. I right now I have no interest in a fold. And maybe that's because I spend so much time at my computer. I'm very happy just doing most of my work on my computer. I don't need that kind of mobility.
What's a fold?
Like a
it's a
Galaxy
foldable
Fold
phone.
or Samsung Fold.
A phone that folds up.
A
Okay, got
folding
it.
phone, yeah. So we'll
Well,
I'm
see.
looking forward
it
to
would
any
be
kind
safer.
of improvements to the Vision Pro.
They're coming out with the
giving us,
4K, right?
Yeah, and they're also upping the resolution. So your real-time view, that is the one you see through the machine, is going to improve.
Do you have
dramatic-
a
I
Vision?
do not have one, but I've demoed them, and they are fantastic. In fact, I see it as the future of computing.
Really?
Oh yeah.
See, I
No,
think
you,
they would be too. I've not demoed them, but I do
oh,
love
you
these
have
events.
to demo it to get the
I
real
love
thing.
these events. I just love,
Yes.
and even if
Yeah.
I don't buy anything, I just love them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
No,
go?
it isn't
Do you
as
go in
dramatic.
person?
No,
Well,
No,
yes,
you have to have
you can get
you
an
have to be a
appointment at
very
a,
special
I'm
person to get
not
an
on that
invite.
list.
Yeah.
I am for sure.
You're very
you
not
can't
on
go
their
to
radar.
the event, that's for sure. Yeah.
Dave, you
have
think
to be
this
a
is the
journal.
future of computing, an Apple Vision Pro?
Absolutely, yes.
Ugh.
And it's going to be like Meta will do it, and Microsoft will do it. Everybody will offer you a desk on your face.
Oh God, that sounds horrendous. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
once you've been in one, you can see the possibilities. Like
Well,
I've had one on only for about 40 minutes, and I was able to see what I would do with this thing.
Oh, I have
And,
no doubt. I have no doubt that the productivity would be
And it's
amazing.
fully
But you've got
capable.
a
It's not like
computer
it's
strapped to your
hinky or anything.
face.
no, here,
Yeah,
Dave.
well, no, the computer's kind of around you, but the computer itself is presenting a completely new way of handling your information.
Right. I'm not concerned about your experience wearing it. I'm thinking about the fact that your child needs daddy's attention, and daddy has a MacBook Pro stapled to his
to
forehead.
my face, yeah. Now,
Oh,
the
my
feature is that if
goodness.
somebody addresses you, they come through the view.
I know.
They actually
that
pop
just
in
sounds
like a ghost.
Awful. Sky, help me out here.
Somebody walks up and
Well,
says,
I-
Dave, you got a phone call.
This
And I go,
is-
thank you very much.
and this is where I want to see you in about 5 years when your grandchild comes to your daughter and says, "Hey, I want to get the one where it plugs to the back of my retina. Can I get that, please?"
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's coming. So
yes. I'm
Good.
not
Listen,
saying
I
that
have
Totally
so
jumped
many
the gun.
screens
Yeah.
around me. Having one giant screen would like solve that problem.
Or no screen at all. But
Right,
you
or no
can-
screen at all would solve
You
that.
could go chop vegetables and still be, in a Zoom call.
See,
The other one is the widgets. I'm
Tony,
really impressed with the
Can you
widgets that come
please
with
tell me you're on my
Vision.
side on this one. That is just, please.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to, I guess I'm kind of on your side. what I am saying that I am not interested in the Vision Pro until it forms like a pair of glasses. It does all of the things that it does, but it's in the shape of a pair of glasses. That's when I'm interested in it.
It'll be in the shape of those big glossy wraparounds people used to wear back in the 70s, where it's just a big band of chrome or something on their face.
See,
I
now-
don't think it has. I don't think.
Tron
I don't think it
style.
has to be that.
You know,
I-
last
I,
night,
I really think that it will look like a pair of glasses, And Dave or David, let me say that your grandchildren will be able to see. You'll be able to interact with your grandchildren as well.
I can
So it
interact with
won't
my
be
grandchildren right
a
now.
hindrance. What I'm
They
saying
walk
is
into
you
the
can have
room.
the.
I interact with them.
But you can have the Vision Pro on glasses and interact with
I
them as
know.
well.
You know, I'm getting myself into trouble because last night on Tony's show, Ken Jordan was there. And Ken is a whole hell of a lot smarter than I am. And so last night we had a disagreement. And now he's saying the Vision Pro micro OLED displays with a resolution of 3660 by 3200 pixels per eye gives a pixel density that is higher than a 4K TV for each eye. He loves his. And I know he has one because it was in his background last night on the
But
show.
it's amazing that you put that thing on your head, and at first the foveal view and everything is all there, and pretty soon you've adapted. Like the speed at which your brain accepts it is phenomenal. It isn't like when I had to learn to look at 1080p and realize it was sharper and closer to me, and I had to change my lighting and everything else because I was shooting 1080. That it was hard to accept. People weren't impressed with 1080 at first.
Right.
Then they got to 4K and said, "Now I got to buy a new TV." So when you get to the Vision Pro and you've got in both eyes, you got 8K.
Wait,
you're
Sky
living the
is
dream.
strapping something to his face.
You all had to start somewhere, and this was one of the original concepts.
So wait, no,
Oculus,
keep it on, because according to Dave, it's perfectly natural for us now to have a conversation with you having that thing strapped on your head.
No, it's not.
We'd never do it with a camera on our face. No, we would have a camera inside our eye, and you would only see me as an avatar of me, which is the sort of thing you've been doing with your cartoon character, and that Tony did with his cartoon character. If it starts looking more like a real person and not a cartoon character, how am I going to know?
I just don't buy it yet.
I think
I haven't
it's the
tried it.
possibility of it, though.
Not yet.
Maybe
is
I'll-
fun.
The Apple II was clunky, and we got
Absolutely.
used to it.
So clunky.
But then it became a Mac, and that was different entirely, and we got used to it.
Right.
So I'm thinking this is where the next step is, and all the companies are going to do it, not just Apple.
And if I could have
Dave,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add that we had a conversation with Tony Mobley where Ken actually used his Vision Pro to interact with me during the conversation.
But that was that was before the recent update, right? So that was pretty awful. Now it's so much better.
Yes.
The avatars are so much better now.
Yeah, and just like you did with Gemini, it can also fill in the background, and
Right.
eventually it will give you the room. Like I've got my whole room here. It would present me in that kind of space instead of floating in the real world.
I just want to point out,
it gave me hat hair.
I was just going to say, Sky just pointed out the biggest issue of all, and that is that
we're
you
all gonna
take
be
it off
bald.
and your hair is all messed up. It's exactly
Yeah.
right. That's a real problem. But
that happens when I come into the house with a hat. Yes, okay.
speaking of problems,
Help?
Sky,
Yes.
Sky, you doing okay?
I'm old, and I'm in denial about it because I'm looking at you and it says remove your pin, but I can't. I don't know what happened here. What happened?
Talk to me about relationships.
I'm reading a book, and it's talking about actually I'm not reading anything. I'm listening to it. Gentleman named Dennis Taylor, and he's talking about 130 years from now, and he talks about a human that got frozen and then reconstituted 130 years from now, and it's just it's an energetic concept for me about relationship. And so in our question today about relationship, I thought, so what other stories have been told about interpersonal relationship, interacting relationship? And I went back and I thought, well, there was the movie Her back in 2013, and that was a contemporary version of interaction with technology, but having an emotional, empathetic, interaction. Then there was AI. That was back in 2001, about a young boy, that I think that was Steven Spielberg that actually created that one.
He finished the Kubrick film.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for that.
Kubrick
So it
made the
can,
film, and he couldn't finish it when he died. So Spielberg, he'd been very impressed with Jurassic Park and invited Spielberg to take over.
that that gives me goosebumps in its storytelling kind of way. And then the because I love Robin Williams, there's one called Bicentennial Man in
Bicentennial Man, yeah.
1999, and it also goes through the iterations and generations of immortality of what an AI bot could potentially do. So this is me looking at my mortality and wondering where is technology, where and how can technology help me?
We have now many offerings of recording your voice so that your siblings can talk to you when you're gone. You only need to give it a 15-minute sort of read this thing, and then it will imitate your tone, your attitude, your temperament, and actually answer questions about who you are and what your life was like. And we don't know yet how valuable that will be to the next generation. They might not want to hear from Grandpa, but in some cases, I wish I could stop and ask my dad about something that, he died in 2010, and a lot of things have changed since then. And I'd love to be able to ask him how he feels about things. And
You know what that
how he
reminds
felt.
me of, Dave? In Superman, when in the movie, forgive me, I don't remember which one, not the 76 one, the more recent. When Superman has a conversation with his father. His father's dead, of course, but and it can only. Oh, you know where else it was? It was also in iRobot. The same idea, where there's the image of someone who's passed on, and you can have a conversation with them. The caveat being that they only have certain responses that they're able to give. Now with AI, maybe we can now do even better than that.
But you could get their opinion on current events. Yeah.
But you wouldn't know what they thought unless the person has extensive writings and extensive recordings and has talked a lot about what they think. Then no matter what it is that what it looks like or what it sounds like, it's not going to be answering you as the person. It's just
That's
going to
right.
be answering
And
you
I think
as
this is the crux of the conversation, because whatever your belief system is, my thought recently has been, why I'm kind of jealous of Jesus is because he knew who he was. I am such at being manipulated and molded by my surroundings, by my community, by my other people, but that individual, according to the way it's written, it's like he knew who he was in relationship to the world, other things, other people.
There's a project right now with the Holocaust people, and I think it's in Israel, who have done interviews with survivors before they died and made a virtual person that you can ask about that event. They don't want you to talk about the current events, but they will give you the history lesson as they lived it. And teenagers can sit down and talk to them, and they give you a half hour with it, and you can ask them anything.
So that's.
I will say this. I am doing a project right now, two different projects that I got kind of thrown into, not my area of expertise, where I'm part of an oral history project where we're recording various writers and various creators in, New York and around there. And I have to say, just being on the record end of these conversations makes me want to put every person that I know in a room for several hours at a time and just ask them to talk about themselves. It is so fulfilling. It is so interesting. And there is no AI that's going to solve that thing. So we do
Not
have
at all.
technology now. It's old school.
I did a similar project with the Aboriginal population here. We've been losing a lot of our elders. And so they had a grant, Canada Council grant, to go around the province and talk to the elders and get them on video. And this was a huge project. It had like 140 candidates, and they were telling the stories of the old days before a white man was here. And they were able to give us a historical perspective of Canada before it became Canada. And I thought, this is also what's been going on. And then I was just reminded as you talked that I did an interview with two fathers of friends of mine who grew up in the oil business and told stories from that. And the friends I had were really not interested in what their dad had to say, but they had some great things to tell and some things I never knew about the province of Alberta and how it developed. And then the other one I talked to he worked in the tax department, Canadian revenue. And he had stories to tell about his upbringing and how he came to that and what he did in the war. And all those things are on that tape. It was an audio recording, but I just think there's a potential here. You can continue a relationship with someone that you had a relationship with, and then you can prompt them by talking to them and see what their responses are.
Here's here's that what you were talking about. It's called eyewitness.
There it is.
Yep.
And so I just typed in. You could speak also. I typed in where were you born. I'm not sure we'll be able to hear him. I'll be able to hear him, but
I was born in.
Can you hear
Łódź,
that at all?
Poland,
Yep.
Yes.
the second largest city in Poland at the time.
so you can ask questions, and then it sort of goes back and it finds the proper answer that he gave. Tell me about your family. Let's see what happens here.
I was extremely close to my family. My family, before the war,
I mean, that's kind of wild,
was
actually, that
my
you can do that.
I mean, everything,
I'll stop that. But it's an amazing, and this was goodness gracious.
That's a
this came out-
believable tone of voice, isn't it? It's a
Right.
guy you could listen to all afternoon.
But this came.
Yeah.
They did this. This, by the way, it's not in Israel. It's University of Southern California.
Oh, okay, South California.
They did this years ago. I mean, I want to say almost a decade ago, maybe even more. This is not new.
No, it's not, because I used it when I was teaching.
Yeah.
And that was like 2009, 10 or something. around there.
It's really sort of amazing.
Well, and I think the cathartic moment, had the great privilege of going up to Whistler, Canada, British Columbia, and they have a cultural center for two indigenous nations that came together in Whistler and built a amazing community center that they have collected. And for instance, they talked about songs, and that there were three types of songs. There was a song sung by parents to babies and grandparents to grandbabies. There was a song such as a feasting song, prayer songs, gambling songs, canoe journey songs, and table songs. The third concept of a song was a type of song that is not for public use or display. And I thought of a categorization of, we've got gospel music, and which is both, used in worship, but there's also it can become commercialized, right, Tony? And it can be a thing that could be, a product. And so this is where these two nations did not have a written language until 1968, when they themselves said, we better write things down because our people are going away and we don't want that to happen. So I've been very inspired by First Nations. Did I say it correctly, Dave? First Nations people, and they're seeking to hold on to who they are. And this is where my conversation about relationships with who am I to myself, who am I to others around me, and to your point, who am I to my grandchildren, and who are you to your grandchildren?
Go ahead, Lois.
One of the things that I find is true is that many families, like mine, the parents didn't tell their stories to the kids. So when my mom lost much of her vision, moved back to the town I'm in, so she's in a little apartment, and I'm doing everything for her because she can't see anymore. There was a teacher who got a hold of me and said, I hear rumors that your mother was in the whack. And I said, yeah, that's true. Can I interview her? So she came and she sat and she talked to my mom. I heard stories I had never heard before. And mom was 95 at the time. It was like, oh, I had a few years before that, before my dad passed away, I had gotten a camera set up and I had interviewed him and asked him questions about his life. So I had a little bit from dad, but this was the first I'd heard mom's, you know, like that. And
Yeah.
so I'm hoping that the folks today are going to have more continuity from the elders, from the folks, their parents and grandparents, than
Hmm.
we had.
Yeah.
And
No, and your recordings, all of the radio that you've done is a
Mhm.
complete catalog of things that you did in your life.
by the way,
Well,
that's a strong argument for everyone to embrace their inner creator and share their voice.
Yeah.
Do
Hmm.
something with your
Yeah.
voice. Make sure that it's recorded, that it's written down, that it's captured
Yeah.
somehow.
Not to belabor the fact, but I was asked to go back to the old country and interview my wife's grandparents, and they died shortly after I did. And I learned later I am the only person who got the whole story. No, they've not told anybody,
Yeah.
and they decided to tell me. And I feel like this is a heavy burden here. I have the story,
Yeah, a
and I have
privilege
to
and a
tell
burden.
them.
Yeah.
And a
Tony,
burden.
last word on this, and then we're transitioning.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that this is a very sensitive subject for me. I thank all of you for talking about this particular issue. Um, I have recently, this might be a little bit unpopular, but I recently found out that my great great grandfather, whose name was Ned Brown, was born in 1827 in slavery. And his father was Cy Brown. I only mention it because right now in this country there seems to be a movement to erase the history of people who were forcibly brought to this country and to minimize and lessen the brutality that took place. I thank you for sharing this because I will use this tool to try to share as much as I can about my family history. And I just wanted to say thank you for going down this road.
It's a call to action, and leading us from here to where we're going. I think that it's undeniable that new technologies allow us to share our voices, to discover our voices, to hear each other's voices in ways that were just incomprehensible even 10, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah.
I have friends in Florida now. I have friends in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I know.
I have
It's
friends in
wild.
Yeah.
So let's do
Canada,
it,
of all
folks.
places.
Let's talk. Now, this is not a gadget show and tell. I know that Dave brought props, and that's fine. You're allowed to have props, Dave. He brought a pen. Sky brought a pen. This is really more about, to me at least, what I'm thinking about is how do we map the technologies that have changed our lived experience and have changed society. I could start, but I'm actually not going to. Who'd like to start? It took me I had a really hard time with this.
I had a hard time. I'm
and
still
I apologize
unclear.
because I didn't actually do the work before I I threw this all on you
He
last
assigned
week.
the homework, but he
I
didn't
know, I'm
do
sorry.
anything.
So when I
Wow.
actually tried to do the work, it was really hard because I didn't want it to be, I didn't want to say, oh, the computer. Like I wanted,
Yeah.
in any case. Lois, can I pick
You
on
had
you
to-
first? All
Absolutely.
right.
And you just changed the question. The question to us was, what one technology has changed your life? You just added the whole society. Okay,
Right. That's not fair.
that's too heavy.
Okay, then
Okay,
just your life.
just my
Actually,
life.
can I
Okay.
actually tell you one thing? I actually changed the question twice because the original question is not what technology has changed your life. The original question was what piece of technology? And I decided it's really important to take out piece because piece of technology leads you to a gadget show. And that's not what I wanted to
Hardware.
get at. So, but thank you for clarifying. Back to you, Lois.
I am 75 years old. When I was born, there were a lot of things that didn't exist that now are really common. But the one thing that made the biggest impression was personal computers. When a computer, instead of being a room in the university where you did things, was sitting on your desk. The Mac came out, you could drag things around. It was astonishing. At that time, when I got my first Mac and when the technology of personal computers was happening, I had a company called The Organizer. And the focus of my company was helping people keep the papers from taking over their lives. And so everything that people were doing in business and elsewhere was all on paper. And then there was a computer. And so it not only changed how people worked, but it also changed the expectation of what was to be done. So I had been a secretary, I had been a well, in the secretarial world at that time, you had a boss, usually a man, who had an idea or wanted to write something, they'd dictate it, then you'd take that and you'd turn it into written words, and then they'd approve it and all this stuff. After computers come out, the assumption was, hey, that boss can type. They can write up their own stuff. And so the expectation of who could do what changed. The other thing that happened was that I had I had clients that I was helping to, manage their papers. And all of a sudden, when the computers came out, people were saying, "Oh, well, I don't know how to do the bookkeeping. I'll just get a computer to do that." No, you'd have to learn how to operate the computer as well as learning how to do the bookkeeping in order for that to be effective. And then Quicken came out. If you can keep a checkbook, you can do your books for your computer. So the computer has evolved over the time, but the big event was the fact of existence of the computer. It changed the speed of things, it changed the expectation of things, changed my life.
Wow. Thank you, Lois. I appreciate that. Dave, you want to jump in?
Well, yeah, I had three. The microwave oven changed my life. So eating, preparing food, storing, and preserving food has changed. Packaging food has changed. The whole thing about food and regular meals totally different now. And maybe I wouldn't have survived without the microwave oven. In terms of relationships, there's a technology that was introduced to my house, and it saved my marriage. And it's electric, and it's in the bedroom. And I consulted my wife if I was allowed to speak about this. But it's a heat pad for a mattress, and it has individual controls for each side of the bed. And I can have it one temperature on my side, and she can have whatever she likes on
You
the
are
other.
a terrible
Change this.
person the way you just led us down that road.
I did, yeah. I worked on
You're
that a
going
long time.
straight to hell for that one, Dave.
Yeah.
That was good. That was really good.
The third one, and this will be my last, is a life-saving technology, which I hope many of you never have to experience. Not that it's painful or difficult, but I had cancer and I was put under a robot, and the surgery was done by a robot. It was a 6-armed robot, looks like a spider hanging over top of you. And these things probed me and took away my cancer. And I was out of the hospital the next day. And I came back from that 10 days later, I was fine. And I've never had anything like that in my life. I've had major surgery before, which took months to get over, but this machine made it so that the what do they call it? The intrusion is minimal. It's almost zero. And so that thing saved my life. I don't know how much my life would have been worse, but I know it it made it possible for me to continue to be like I never had cancer ever. And that was about 8 years ago, and I've been clear ever since. So those are the three technologies that have been the biggest impact on my life.
Wow. Your answer connected in my mind to something that someone said in the chat. Ayak, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Oh goodness, wait a second.
Ike Potter.
Ike, thank you. Says technology of vaccination, immunization with mRNA had a great impact on us, helping to overcome the dark days of COVID. So, the advances in medicine for sure,
And a potential cure for cancer, too.
yeah, have to be on that list.
mRNA is going to be right up that street. That's what it was originally researching until they turned the corner and put it toward viruses.
Yeah. Just a couple other answers before I don't know, I'll pick on someone else after this. Tlaloc, DMX, LEDs, and moving lights. That's such a Tlaloc answer. I love that.
I have an answer like that.
That's your answer? And Vic says radio from Top 40 and AOR, then to Art Bell, nascent NPR Twit, This American Life Radio Lab, for which I've provided VOs, then bringing me to OH. The human voice resonates with me. That's beautiful. Awesome. Tamara, you want to go?
I'll go. So I struggled with this because the obvious answer of where I am right at this moment would be Zoom. But going back a little further to my origin stories of computing is a lot more like Talalix. I say this all the time. I am not a natural technical person. I am like the techiest layperson in a room, and I have fallen into technology 110% of the time. So the first time I fell into any kind of technology, any kind of computing, other than I had my IBM like word processor that had disks, so I was like set, right? I did not have a computer through high school, only till the beginning, even through the beginning of college, I did not have a computer. My first thing that was a computer was a computerized light board, and I was hired as the second assistant stage manager on this giant show that had like 3 stage managers, 2 directors, and 250 people in it. And they said, "Oh, well, you can program the light board." And I was like, I have never programmed a light board. Now I had worked on, little tiny preset scene boards where you push the button and the light goes, like you are making that light go. So I programmed this light board. It had, I think, 500 or 600 cues, and this one thing kept tracking all the way through, and the lighting designer was so mad at me, like, stop tracking that thing. And he realized that that was not my fault, thank goodness. But he was testing light boards, and he was testing board number 1, and they put board number 2 on a plane overnight and brought it in, and we learned this. And it sounds so dumb because I was at the very beginning of my time doing theater, my time stage managing, but I felt so powerful in just being able to learn how to program this board, which is, anybody who programs boards, it's not that hard, but I felt really powerful, and it really did change kind of the direction of my kind of technical view of myself technically, which did lead to, there is a PowerBook Mac behind me, my show and tell, that I did not buy, that someone gave me. These Ken Fuller and Bonnie Raskin, who were instrumental in both my television career and my theater career. And when I went away to go to college in New York, they were like, you have to have this, you have to have a computer. At the time, I had a Mac on a PC campus was one of the few people who had a laptop at school. And when I would have to go and print things out, I would have to find Kent, a pre-sum major, who had the only other Mac printer to go and print my things for the first semester. So getting that printer was amazing. But getting the modem for Christmas was absolutely the most amazing thing for me, because it really gave me a chance to talk to the other techie person in my life, which was my dad. And he would email me, or he would, text me or email me every single day and give me all the mundane happenings. And I look at that now, because he was my age when he died, which isn't that old. And when, he died 21 years ago, and I have all of these amazing things from when I was younger. And I feel like that email, and then that got me my job in internet when it was really very babyish. The World Wide Web, the way we know it, happened in April of 1994, and I started in like the end of 1994 with the company. But that ability to, my dad was a mechanic. He was not someone who talked to his family. As he felt like his job was to go and make money and come back, and being able to have that documentation, I think that opened up to where we are today. When we're talking about, AI, and talking about recording things, and talking about having phones that are computers, that really started from those really people who just didn't know what they were, just what the possibilities were. And I think when I look at AI now, the reason we're so excited, and the reason I get so excited over like talking about the Vision Pro and talking about things that are the future, is that I think back to that, and I think back to being in those initial meetings where I'd be like, it'd be cool if you could watch TV and then talk to your friends about it. And they'd be like, Tamara, that is so cool, but we don't have enough bandwidth. And here we are now. So I think those things that allow us to have connectivity, I just think about, the things that I have now that are so valuable, because my dad died in his early 50s. And I didn't get the rest of the time with him. But that time where we got back and forth, he would like send me emails where he's telling me about my siblings fighting in the background, and mom's making dinner, and like all these mundane things that were so valuable being 3,000 miles away from him is like insanely valuable now.
Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
so
the thing that I
beautiful.
love about Zoom. It's right. It's the same. It's the things that connect us, I think, are
Yeah.
the technologies that really are the ones that are most important.
That's beautiful. I hadn't even thought about Zoom. I'm so embarrassed. I hadn't even thought about Zoom as a potential contender. It's fantastic. Tony, you want to jump in? I'm saving you, Sky. I'm saving you.
This was very hard, particularly when you're old. So, very quick story. I've been married 35 years. Most of that 35 years, I worked in service-related jobs, which meant that I always had to have an additional side job that I had to do. And you'd be surprised at some of the side jobs that I had. But one in particular was computer repair. I used to replace hard drives, update storage, RAM, whatever you need on your desktop computer. I was the man. You called me and I'd fix it. And close friend of mine tried to get me interested in Apple computers. And I was like, no. Windows is the way to go. Windows is the way to go. And so I did my computer business, and I did okay with doing that. And then smartphone came out, and I got this. This is a BlackBerry, right? And so I thought that this would be the device that would make a difference in my life, but actually it wasn't. It was the next device that I got that is now, I think, 17 years old. It powers on. It still works. This is the iPhone 4S. Why is this the device that changed my life technology-wise? It's the device that changed my life technology wise because it was the device that springboarded me into Mac computers. It was it was that I was able to do so many amazing things with this phone and then consequently my Mac laptop. Why do I say that? The reason I say that is because I was doing all of these things with it. I was a part of the Meerkat community. I was a part of the Periscope community. I was a part of the Blab community. All of those communities that I was a part of was a result of, now some of them you could use Windows machines, but most of them, they work better on a Mac. And so springboard to 2020 when the pandemic hit. I had an opportunity to participate in this small community called Office Hours. And I came into that community with this then 12-year-old MacBook Pro that was horrible. It was horrible. I'd come in, the light was changing, I sounded terrible. It was just awful. But because of that, I got a chance to ask questions in the Office Hours community. I got a chance to help a small church try to survive using Zoom because of that computer. Not only did I get a chance to help a small church in a rural area with a lot of senior citizens be able to graduate to having Zoom meetings, to sharing their worship experiences on YouTube, and to move from that to creation of Conversation with Tony Mobley. And in part, the reason that I am here today is because of this 4S, in part.
I love that. I remember that phone. I had it
I have that
myself.
phone. That was my first Mac. That was my first iPhone.
All right, a couple more. Oh, wrong button. Sorry. A couple more. Vic says the very light. Ken Jordan, the Sinclair ZX81 personal computer.
Wow.
Yeah. Brody Hefner, the first Max GUI mouse. That's great. Love it. Sky, you want to go?
I I I I I went a little more big picture, maybe, rather than individual things, because that's kind of what I do. Sorry, kind of, not really. But can I show a picture that might be disturbing?
Oh,
Because it is a photo of me after a surgery. It's all, I mean, it's,
all right.
what
So
do you
we're
think?
giving people notice.
I'm giving
Just
notice here.
Be
that
aware, everybody.
I know it's me. I know I'm healthy. I know I survived, but it is a image that is might be graphic. So
All right, pop it up. Let's see what
here we
happens.
go. Okay. There it is.
Hold on a second.
But then you need to do a thing.
Yeah, I'm doing my thing. I am
Do the
doing
thing
my
that you
thing.
do. That is me after a brain surgery in 2017. I had been having a loss of hearing, and then they realized I had a 33 millimeter golf ball of goo that was continuing to make and poke holes in things, including my cranium, and that it was on its way to a thing called the dura, which is the bag that holds your brain. And that is, we ask the doctor how many stitches that was, and they says, well, they stitch you up on the inside first, and then they stitch you up on the outside, and that surgeon was so specialized in that ability that I have no the folic hairs are they weren't disturbed, and so you will not see that, as my wife says, the Riddler question mark on my head to this day. It's gone. I mean, it's up there under my hair, but my hair is. I'll stop sharing, and then come back to me, because so I guess why I am talking about grateful for technology is in 2010 I had the opportunity of going to Port-au-Prince as a part of a support team for the Samaritan's Purse to do disaster recovery after a large earthquake that many people were killed because of the buildings and the things that fall onto you. And again, it's not the earthquake. The quote was, it's not the earthquake that kills you, it's the things that men built on top of it. And that's what happened. So we were a part of the recovery. I came back several years later. I went back again with my church to make relationships. And we went back a third time. We went back a fourth time. And the fourth time we went back. So where is the women's leader, the leader of the women's group? And I was told she died. And we all looked at each other, the other people from Mill Creek, Washington, and we said, well, what happened? What happened? And that's when the people that were there said, well, she died. And that's when I realized I had so much medical assistance, medical knowledge, medical access. So Tony, to your point of the opportunities that we have in certain parts of the world that other people don't, that I became very grateful that technology kept me alive. Now I'm going to share one more photo here. And this is why I'm grateful, is because this man here, bing, is it showing? I can't tell. There he goes. Is Graham Kerr, otherwise known as the Galloping Gourmet. And this is him coming to be in conversation with me after my surgery. And I'm again working on a documentary about his life that is pretty fascinating, pretty phenomenal. And I've had various stumbles along the way: technology, pandemic, helping my mother-in-law move because of her illnesses. And so now I'm again grateful for technology because it keeps me in communication and connection. But that's why I think I'm looking about relationships, because when I say the word Graham Kerr, Galloping Gourmet, to certain people at a certain time, they literally smile because they remember a relationship that he created with them through a camera 50 years ago. It's magical. And so this is me celebrating technology, but how it creates relationships and how it can help us understand and know ourselves better so that we can help one another. That's it.
Love it. Love it.
And yes, I had the first iPhone.
Zyxel modem. The first Zyxel, Ekpotter says, the first Zyxel modem. Vic says the Osborne One. The Osborne One.
What about you, David?
Yeah, well, I definitely should not have let Sky go before me, because mine is lame compared to Sky. But
I had the first 128 Mac. Does that count?
That's a good one.
Okay, yeah.
For me, I love work. I love being productive. I can't imagine retiring. That just sounds awful to me. I love trying new things, doing new things, organizing systems, all of that stuff. I love it. And so the technology I think that has changed my life the most is what replaced this little blue calendar that I used to carry around in my pocket. It was a pocket calendar with a page for every day in the year. And I would, when I had notes, I would stick them in there. I mean, this thing, I had to rubber band it because it got so thick with all the notes and the things that I wrote and stuff like that. This was my life. And what replaced that was Google Calendar and Google Mail and Google Docs and Google Drive and all the 20% projects that Google, Google folks came up with. That suite of tools, I think, has changed the way that I work more than anything else. I live in Google Calendar and Gmail, and there are certainly those who say, you're selling your soul. You become the product, and I have yet to see an ad in either one of those apps. And if I am seeing ads, they've done such a good job of hiding them that they've earned my money. They've earned whatever I'm going to spend on those things. I just think they're amazing technologies that allow me to be productive and allow me to grow and learn and make and explore the world in ways that I couldn't before. So those are mine. X says, I retired officially September 2024, but the next day I got a new job. Yeah, I'll be right there with you. Yeah. This was really fun. I really enjoyed learning from all of you about these things. And I actually already have, let's see if I can find it. Ham radio, Gary says.
Oh, yeah.
Ham
a lot
radio.
of people were changed by that.
It's so interesting, all the communication tools.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So for next week, I can tease this now. This was inspired in part by the new Gemini model, but really a larger philosophical question, and that is, in a world of AI, what is real? Not how do we tell what's fake, but have the definitions of what's real and what isn't real, have those changed in a world filled with so much technology? So there's a thinker for you.
Right up my street. Right up my
I was
street.
like,
Perfect.
I like that.
Perfect. I love it. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful that you were all here. Lois, did you want to jump in? I'm sorry. I see it looks like I'm cutting you off. Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I think we need.
Now you're unmuted.
Here we go. I think we need more people in the panel.
I think we do too.
That's a big discussion, and I really think we need to.
Gary,
Vic can come on, or
Eck,
Ken.
Victor. I'm going down the list here.
Ken.
Tlaloc, Brody, Ken, all of you. You are all officially welcome.
Tlaloc.
Join
Oh,
us. Just
he'd
hit me
be
up
great.
on Facebook. Not Facebook.
Ken.
On Discord. I'm never on Facebook. Hit me up on Discord. Pop me an email. Visit therundown.show. My contact info is there. That would be a lovely idea, Lois. I'd love to have more people join us. I'm especially grateful that all of you keep coming back, though, because I just treasure these conversations. I'm really grateful for them. Wishing everyone who's watching us tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon, a lovely, lovely weekend. And we'll see you on the next week on The Rundown. Bye, everybody.